6 points, right? They lost 14-9 in Los Angeles against the Chargers, and we watched them on Monday night. They lost by 1 point at home against Tampa Bay. I do believe the Jaguars, though, who lead the NFL in rushing. Remember Tampa 2 years ago? Last in rushing. Liam Cohen comes. They go from last to fourth. This year, the Jaguars, a year ago, 101 yards a game, running the football way down, deep into the high 20s. This year, they're number one, 169.5 yards a game. If there's a deficiency, if there is a problem right now with Houston, I don't think they're necessarily physical in the ditch, and they're allowing more than 120 yards a game on the ground. I think this has ETN, Tootin, Allen Jr. written all over it. Run the ball first and then hopefully set up the pass, which we have talked about a tremendous amount Monday and Tuesday, particularly with Brian Thomas Jr., who did practice today in full despite a wrist injury. All right, Bashal Tootin was limited today, and he had a penny on for non-contact. Jerrion Jones did on the defensive side, so a little bit of concern there. Jones hasn't gotten off to the start that I think most out there, including myself, envisioned. He's solely a corner now, doesn't want to be a nickel anymore. We know they brought in Jordan Lewis, who starts on the other side and then does switch into the nickel once they go into that style of defense, which is for the most part, what they've been doing an awful lot of. Also the 3 safety look, which I'll get to here momentarily after the Darnell Savage release that did take place yesterday. But I also want to mention that Buster Brown practiced in full today on this Wednesday. Many out there believe that before Buster went down, he was the leader to be the starting corner opposite Tyson Campbell. All right, Buster was out basically the entire month of August. I'm trying to remember exactly when he went down. It may have been the first couple of days of August, or it could have been the final couple of days of July. But he has been out for quite some time. So this is really intriguing to me. Is Buster Brown back? Will he play this weekend? I have to believe so. A massive vote of confidence today in Antonio Johnson, all right, from Liam Cohen. Antonio Johnson has one play. He has one snap in 2 games. And all of a sudden, with what Anthony Campanile is doing with these 3 safety looks, can C.J. Stroud throw the football? He couldn't Monday night. We saw it. And, C.J. Stroud as well, dealing with a lot of injuries. We know that. This is a ravaged Houston football team right now when it comes to what they are dealing with at wide receiver, right? Christian Kirk's got a hamstring, limited today. The former Hurricane, Braxton Berrios, hamstring, limited today. Tank Dell on the shelf. He's gone. Nico Collins, I want to say he's got 70. He does. He has 77 yards in 2 games. I mean, he's putting up Brian Thomas Jr. type numbers. This is a, consecutive 1,000-yard receiver, unable to really get things cranked up so far for Houston. And, of course, they're missing Joe Mixon. So Houston struggles to run, and they can't stop the run. Jacksonville is number 1 in rushing, average per game, and tied with Baltimore, average per carry. And obviously they are more stout now against the run. I get it. It's a tiny little sample size. You can't live on things based on 2 football games, but I do think the arrow is pointing forward here. I really think Jacksonville, and this is where leadership comes into play. We just talked. It's a totally new roster. It's a totally new coaching staff outside of Richard Angulo. It's a totally new front office outside of Tony Baselli, who, was in the broadcast business. This has to be echoed. This has to be known about what did occur a year ago. The situation where the concussed Trevor Lawrence was not met anywhere near my satisfaction when it came to retaliation. I'm pretty simple, okay? I'm an eye for an eye guy. That's it. Yeah, I'm not going to cut it any other way. I'm eye for an eye. And Jackson, I don't want to go over it again, okay? They didn't respond. And that still boils my blood. That should boil your blood. You should be out there earlier on Sunday. You should have more octane in you, more liquid in you, more whatever substance you need in you, whether it's coffee, whether it's Diet Coke like I have here at Twin Peaks, even though they got 22-ounce ice-cold beers, drafts, for only $3.99. A gentleman in front of me just got an ice-cold glass. It is so damn tasty. This is nuts. And I wouldn't know because, again, I'm drinking Diet Coke, which I got to tell you is pretty it's pretty bad. It really is, compared to the ice-cold drafts that they are drinking. But, I mean, this is a physical game. This is a street fight. And that message needs to be repeated. The coaching staff's aware of it, but it's not a focal point. The new players could be aware of it. It's not a focal point. Who on this team raises this situation? And again, 9 out of 10, you're living there. 9 out of 10 is where your mind is. I don't believe that is the case for this football team. They're professionals. Their focus is simply on, can you beat Houston, right? Can you beat the Texans? The Texans are 0-2. If you look at when the NFL began, 8 divisions, 4 teams per, 32 teams in the league, clubs who have begun the year 0-2. There's been 190 of them, going all the way back to 2002 when the 8 divisions began. Only 18 of those 190 have made the playoffs, okay? That's an average of 9.5%. Indy's off to a phenomenal start, right? Looking forward to seeing it on tape after. I believe it's a 1 o'clock Eastern game as well coming up this weekend. Getting a better idea of what Indianapolis is all about. But come on, Jaguar fans. You'd rather take your chances with Indianapolis than you certainly would with the return of Houston. An opportunity here to put them at 0-3. That is pretty, that is really saying something. And Jacksonville does have that opportunity. One message that's coming out of Houston this week, and D'Amico Ryans has talked an awful lot about this. This is a very similar offense that Liam Cohen is running that Houston has already seen. Tampa on Monday night and the Los Angeles Chargers, a couple of Sundays ago. So this is not going to be all new, even though, the Doug Peterson, Trent, Press Taylor, all that stuff is gone. It's not like they're blind to this. They are somewhat used to it. So it'll be pretty interesting to see how they actually do respond. All right, I'm fired up. Great to be here with you. It's Twin Peaks, $6 Jaeger bombs, classic martinis. Incredible servers and bartenders. I'll say that throughout the course of the next couple of hours. Multiple TVs, multiple games. They carry the pay-per-view, UFC fights, all of that on Saturdays. So Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views. That I'll agree with. Half-price wine by the glass. Okay, and then again, I just can't get over the 22-ounce beer for $3.99. I mean, I'm doing a double barrel this week, and I'm going to Florida State with my brother and my oldest daughter, who is in Tallahassee, and his youngest daughter, who is in Tallahassee. You think I'm going to find any beers in Tallahassee for $3.99? I'm going to be paying like $20 a hook inside the Doak. And I have no problem with that. I don't mind paying for entertainment. I don't mind paying for a good time. But $3.99? I mean, that's larceny. And it's going on right here at Twin Peaks. So we hope to see you. Good crowd already here, but room for you if you want to come on by. And we're going to be here for the next couple of hours. All right, here's what's planned. We're about 20 minutes away from the Philly Godfather. We're going to look at the games that I think you're interested in. Certainly Jacksonville and Houston, Indianapolis and Tennessee, college football, Florida and Miami, a huge game. And what about the former Auburn Tiger, at quarterback, and Jackson Arnold going to OU to take on the Sooners Saturday night. So those are the 4 games that we are going to focus on when the Philly Godfather joins us. Coming up at 7 o'clock as well, the very latest from John Oeser. We'll talk about the Jaguars. As a matter of fact, when we return after our first break, I want to stay with the Jaguars, talk about the addition that they went out and did today. It is Khalif the Thief Hilassi. And, I looked it up all over the place. Everyone's pronouncing the name differently, right? I'm kind of one of those guys where if you make a play, then we'll absolutely get your name right. But he was drafted, or excuse me, he was undrafted and, spent the last couple of years in Cleveland, 10 games, 1 start. He was actually on the Vikings practice squad this year. So by bringing him up, he's automatically inserted to the 53-man roster with the release yesterday that Jacksonville did place on Darnell Savage. So, hey, Houston's beaten up. Jacksonville's got a couple of injuries. I didn't even talk about Oeser Cleveland. I'll begin with that when we come back. I want you to hear from Liam Cohen as well. But Ezra did not go today with an ankle. So that's a little bit of a concern on that offensive line. All right, opening comments are always brought to you by the good folks at Shmunez Vision. There are many different lenses and, lens implant types, if you will, when performing cataract surgery. And at many practices, the task of explaining these lens types is given to you by a surgery scheduler, all right, a surgery counselor, if you will. But the surgery scheduler is not a ophthalmologist, right? He's not the individual, he or she, who is going to actually perform surgery on you. So just let me ask, if you're going to have eye surgery, don't you want to be able to sit down and have a conversation and fire off questions with the individual, the doctor, who is going to perform the surgery? That is always the case at Shmunez Vision. And there are different lens types, okay? You may think, hey, laser eye surgery, it's one lens. I have 20/20 for the... No, I'm not a candidate for laser eye surgery, believe it or not. I would have gotten it, a decade ago with Neil Shmunez. I had surgery 9 years ago, and they removed something that was cancerous in my right eye. I've never had a setback, never had a problem. But not everyone is a candidate. If you are, just think of the rest of your days, 20/20. But again, I want to be clear about that. There are different type of lenses. So I want you to be able to ask those type of questions and check them out online. Just go to Shmunez Vision. It's all right there for you. It's a wonderful website. You can also go to Instagram and get the very latest on Instagram from folks who are very happy about the good folks at Shmunez Vision as well. All right, we are jam-packed. This is great. This is Wednesday. This is what it's all about. That's why I love the NFL. Am I wrong in saying that the bitterness of Sunday has left, right? Because it's a new opponent now. I'm not saying you're happy about it, but I think Wednesday's the day that you do turn the page and you focused on your next opponent. This opponent is enormous. They've won 9 out of 10 here in Jacksonville. That can't happen on Sunday. We got a ton to do. It's good to have you with us. Still in Denmark, back in the studio. My name's Rick Ballou. We call it Into the Night.
Gator fans are known to get rowdy.
Especially us.
Hicken and Prosser here.
Join us for a first-of-its-kind podcast, Swamp Session.
Live stream from Voodoo Brewing Company.
Right after every Gator football game on the social channels of 1010XL.
Driven by Atlantic Infinity.
Hacker here. And this past week during the 5th quarter, I had a listener come up to me and say that my story about Awaken 180 weight loss, my journey with Awaken 180 weight loss, had inspired them. And they made the call to Awaken 180 weight loss. They were beginning the program program that they hoped would change their life much as it has changed mine. Awaken 180 Weight Loss has changed my life for the positive, and I love that I can tell people about Awaken 180 if you need to lose weight like I certainly needed to, and if my story inspires you to make the call, it'll be the best call you will ever make. It's the best weight loss program I've ever been on. The coaching you get, the guidance you get is absolutely spectacular. Take it from somebody that lost over 100 pounds on Awaken 180 Weight Loss. If it's time for you to regain control of your life, go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800. Guys, if I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Put a little hot sauce on your lunchtime listening. Spicy. Joe Coward, Matt Hayes, and Leon Searcy. They are XL Prime Time.
4-alarm fire.
From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios. Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
I love my propane company. They always answer when I call and give me great prices and fast service. Said no one ever.
Until now. Need propane for your home or business? Seabreeze Propane is bringing the propane as North Florida's new local propane provider. Visit SeabreezeLP.com.
Seabreeze Propane. We make propane cool, brother. Oh, yeah.
Watch football this season in downtown Duval at Pour Tap Room Jacksonville. 2 floors, 15 TVs, a giant projector, 80 self-pour taps of ice-cold craft beer, wine and cocktails, plus a full bar, wings, burgers, and more, and pizza delivered to your table from Pizza Dynamo. Downtown at Laura and Forsyth. Pour Tap Room Jacksonville. A beer festival every day.
When you roll into a convenience store for some cold Bud Light, you want to make sure it's, well, cold. Check out the big coolers at Circle K. They make sure it's chilled and ready to go for the big game or party. Swing by Circle K and pick up some cold Bud Light.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Get up on it.
Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I'm not even lying when I tell you that all the waitresses here are dancing to this here at Twin Peaks. $2, make that $3.99. 22-ounce draft beers. Come on by Twin Peaks. We're on Atlantic Boulevard, and we would love to hear from you. All right, tonight's show brought to you by Alexander Law Practice. I've known attorney Rick Alexander for quite some time. He promises you direct individual attention, all right? He keeps his number of cases small, okay, so we can personally be involved in every case. And ever since he opened up his practice in 2010, every single case he has been a part of. I'll tell you, when I got divorced, I don't know what it was, 19 years ago, I signed on with someone because I was under the impression he was going to represent me. He didn't. He shuffled it off to some other knucklehead who did a terrible job. And, you know, the law already sucks here in Florida if you are a male and you go through a divorce. But if this is the case and you have been personally injured, All right, those big companies, sure. But are you going to be able to talk to them? Are they going to take time out and individually really show you care and be creative in your ways for what has happened to you? And you may be alone. You may have a car or a truck that has been totaled. You may not be able to afford to make those payments. You may not be able to get to work. You're never going to come out of pocket. These are the type of things you need to know. So go to Alexander Law Practice, and contact them. You're going to get the immediate call back, and you're going to get the attention that you have earned. That is the good folks at Alexander Law Practice. And, again, I can't say enough about that. I would think that would be incredibly important for you, to have that going for you, knowing that those things are actually going to occur. So, once again, just go to Alexander Law Practice online to get yourself the very latest. All right, want to bring in Dylan Denmark for the first time. What's going on back on Hogan Road?
It's same old. The room isn't 70 degrees right now, but it's feeling pretty good.
Yeah, it's not 70. Let me tell you something. It's about 100 degrees here, but there's no humidity inside Twin Peaks. No, I'm just kidding. It's very comfortable here, but you know why I turned down the AC? The show is so damn boring that if I didn't, you'd fall asleep, I'd fall asleep. So, anyway, but I didn't mention the number for Alexander Law. 400-6600, free call, free consultation. All right, let's get to what happened today. Let's get straight after it. The situation with Brian Thomas Jr., who I did see a clip from him. I don't know who had it. I'm old school in my approach that I still credit those who get the information, but I don't remember who had it earlier today. I'm sorry. But Thomas Jr. did say that he's not in a slump and that he just has to execute when the ball is being thrown to him. Liam Cohen told us on Monday, okay? I was in Cincinnati on Sunday when he talked about it. He told us on Monday that a conversation was coming with Brian Thomas Jr. Your head coach was asked about that a couple of hours ago.
Just like anybody on this team, nobody was pleased with the outcome, right? And we had some good conversations, really good conversations. And everybody was frustrated. But at the end of the day, he's got a great opportunity to bounce back, as does the rest of our team, and feel really confident about that.
All right, so that's Liam Cohen on Brian Thomas Jr. I believe there's one more as well. Let's play that second cut involved with the star wide receiver.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, you've got a very talented player that we want to continue to try to get the most out of and put him in a position to continue to be successful and stay and continue to have his back.
So there you go. Liam Cohen on Brian Thomas Jr. Trevor Lawrence went on. Maybe we'll play that a little bit later on the show. He said everyone just needs to step back and take a deep breath, and that he's a very good football player, and that is not going to be an issue moving forward. You really hope so. I mean, he's such a talented player. Tell you, in the video clip I did see of Brian Thomas Jr. today, looked a heck of a lot better midweek than he certainly did Sunday in Cincinnati. There was a lot of despair in his eyes. And, I'd love to be able to sit here and tell you that it was 100% solely because he did not have a good game and that they lost. But it also had me thinking, could there be something else there? Could something else be involved, which we don't have any answers to right now. But there's been a ton of speculation on this. And until he starts to play better football, that is going to continue. I think that opportunity really does present itself coming up this Sunday. All right, let me give this to you before we bring in the Philly Godfather. I told you about Ezra Cleveland. Okay, he didn't work today. He's got an ankle, and he did not practice. Wow. Okay, they feel good. Wyatt Milam is a rookie. He was limited. That's not where they're going to go. It would be Chuma Edoga, in my opinion, who would be the left guard. You've got the rookie as well, and Jonah Monheim. you look at a guy like Cole Van Lannon, more of your swing tackle type. Ed Oga's a guy that can play guard and tackle. But hopefully this changes by tomorrow, that at least it's limited participation with Ezra Cleveland. Hunter Long did not practice. Hunter Long, as far as I know, played one snap this past Sunday in Cincinnati. So, we'll check that. Obviously, he scored back in week 1. Some other notables, the best news today, Buster Brown, full participation. So my understanding would be that he could really be involved here this Sunday against Houston, especially with Jarian Jones being limited with a bad back. Jones had a penny on today saying no contact. Same thing for Bashel Tootin. He, with his shoulder, was limited today, but did have a penny on as well. I think that's it. Brian Thomas, the wrist, in full today. We started the program talking about that. So that did happen, and that's it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys on the injury report. I'll go through Houston in a little bit. They do have some concerns at wide receiver with Christian Kirk and Braxton Berrios. Both have hamstrings, both limited. But a couple of members of their secondary are nicked up right now. A couple of starters, including Jalen Petrie and Kamari Lassiter. Okay, 2 starters there, and their starting center, Jake Andrews, with his ankle limited today. Again, I'll go through that coming up here in just a little bit. But we want to bring in the Philly Godfather, right? We want to hear from him. Let's break some bread with the Philly Godfather. Let's get his opinion on Jacksonville and Houston, Indy and Tennessee, Oklahoma, my goodness, hosting Auburn, and, of course, the U. Is Miami the best team right now in college football? They play host to Florida coming up on Saturday night. We'll have that game for you on our airwaves. All that coming up next with the Philly Godfather. Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Attention ladies. The Ladies Florida State Championship is returning to Best Bet Jacksonville from September 18th to the 21st. Highlights include a World Poker Tour Mega Satellite, a free Q&A session with the Poker Hall of Famer and First Lady of Poker, Linda Johnson, and Women's Poker Hall of Famer, Jan Fisher. It includes the $300 No Limit Hold'em Ladies Championship Tournament and the $200 Kings and Queens No Limit Hold'em event. Don't miss this action-packed weekend. For all the details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Chip Davis, director of the Flounder Pounder Fishing Tournament. We are fast approaching our 16th annual tournament benefiting the Jacksonville School for Autism. With the help of our amazing community, we raised over $1.4 million the last 15 years. This year's tournament will be held at Palm Valley Outdoors on the Intercoastal Waterway. Captain's meeting is Thursday night, October 9th, and the tournament is Saturday, October 11th. I'm inviting you and your family to come out and enjoy our tournament festivities, raise some money, and support autism awareness. Special thanks to U.S. Army Recruitment Jacks for their support. Flounder Pounder for Autism 2025. See you there.
When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the First Coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
PRI Productions is the official game day production partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hi, I'm Randy Goodwin, president and owner of PRI Productions. Chances are, if you've been in Jacksonville over the last 30 years, you've seen our work, from corporate and social events to concert production and much more. We have the equipment and expertise to make your next event memorable. So call the experts the Jaguars call. PRI Productions, bringing your ideas to life.
Come by Lifetime Enclosures this Thursday from noon to 2 and see the XL Primetime Show live. Register to win tickets to the AEW Wrestling Dynamite title Tuesday live at Daly's Place October 7th. Enjoy the savings at Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. We haul construction debris or property cleanouts for managers, owners, and realtors. We do it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Let's make our way to Philadelphia. Let's bring in the best-selling author. He has added that to his resume. Of course, he is the Philly Godfather, and he joins us as we broadcast live from Twin Peaks. Philly Godfather, Howard, thanks.
Doing great, man. We kicked off our crime and justice lecture series last night at Westchester University, and now they got me on a college tour. We're going to be doing a lot of colleges around the country, talking about my life story, Booked, and my new book.
Man, it's a sensational book. I read it, Dylan read it, JJ read it. We all enjoyed it, others at the radio station. And people here in town, tell us how our listeners can get your book, Philly Godfather.
Sure, you can go to phillybooked.com, and I'll send you an autographed copy. It'll take a couple days to get that. Or you go to Amazon, it's shipped to order, and you'll get the book probably the next day.
All right, let's get right after it. Hey, before we do, though, how about the unders so far in the NFL? I mean, I want to say, maybe 12-4 in week one, and it began 10-2. The last four did go over, but I'm a little bit surprised with that. I thought with the new kick rules, game I was at in Cincinnati, I mean, teams were starting at the 35, 40-yard line. Cincinnati was. I would think it would increase the overall scoring.
Well, that's what everybody thought, and it's been the complete opposite. Now, I don't know whether it's a lot of these new quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, haven't got adapted to their teams, their offensive coordinators, a lot of turnover when it comes to offensive coordinators this year. But, yeah, the others have been cashing through, but the market always corrects itself. And don't be surprised if you see a lot of overs this week.
All right. Let's get right after it. Oklahoma. I believe this is the game of the week. Game day is there. The Sooners undefeated. Auburn undefeated. Your thoughts on the Tigers visiting Boomer Sooner?
Yeah, Oklahoma's minus 6.5, 47.5. The money line on the Sooners is anywhere from minus 225 to 250. And, Rick, nothing is ever really easy in the sports betting market, but laying under a touchdown at home on Oklahoma, it's the only way I can bet this game. The Sooners have a better quarterback, in my opinion, with John Mateer, who is the current odds-on favorite to win the Heisman at 700. Oklahoma has one of the most dangerous offenses in the nation. And I really think this is a bad matchup for Auburn's defense that sits outside the top 100 in explosive plays allowed, while in contrast, Oklahoma's offense ranks in the top 20 in that metric. And on the flip side, I mean, Oklahoma has the second-best pass defense in terms of success rate and have been extremely stingy on third downs. Opposing teams have only converted 7 of 41 attempts, and they get even stronger when it comes to run defense. The Sooners rank in the top 20 in opponent yards per rush attempt. So that means that Auburn's, quarterback, he's not going to be able to run around back there. He's going to have to win this game with his arm instead of his legs, and I just can't see that happening. I like the Sooners here at anything under a touchdown. I also think there's some value right now on Oklahoma to make the playoffs, plus 190. I think their two toughest opponents this year is going to be Texas and LSU. And I really believe those games are coin flips. And I think they're better than Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Alabama. So I like them at plus 190 to make the playoffs as well.
All right, little bit bonus there, plus 190 to make the playoffs for Oklahoma. If you can get it at under 7, absolutely play the Sooners. All right, Florida, my goodness, man. They played well on defense, but you throw 5 interceptions, you're not going to win a football game, especially at a place like LSU. How about Miami? South Florida was the best story in college football maybe the first couple of weeks after Boise and Florida. Miami really got after them, especially in the second half.
Yeah, they just blew that game wide open. The price on this game really hasn't moved at all. It hasn't moved an inch. It opened up Hurricanes minus 7.5. It's still 7.5 everywhere. The total's 51.5 or 51, depending on where you shop. When it comes to the bet splits, over 80% of the early action is all over Miami, which should scare you a little bit if you're looking to bet the Hurricanes here. I had the Gators plus 7.5 last week versus LSU. And by kickoff, that line dropped all the way down to 4.5. So I really thought I had a great bet against LSU. The Gators had 13 more first downs, 50 more total yards. But as you said, Florida couldn't overcome 5 interceptions by DJ Lagway. Mm-hmm. And as great as the Hurricanes looked last week, beat down the Bulls 49-12, I might be a glutton for punishment, but I like Florida here again, catching 7.5 points. I'm probably going to be let down again by the Gators this week, but in my opinion, it's the right side. As long as they don't throw as long as Lagway doesn't throw 5 interceptions again. I think that Florida's defense can keep their team within the Vegas number, and it's a little bit of a sandwich letdown spot here for Miami with South Florida last week and Florida State next week. And like I said, as long as they don't turn the ball 3, 4, 5 times, they should cover the 7.5 point spread.
All right, there you have it. Florida plus 7.5 against Miami. Of course, that game in Miami, we'll have that for you here on our stations. Okay, Philly Godfather, for our listening audience, which is the best way that they can get a hold of you?
Yeah, on X, on Twitter, at Philly Godfather. Or you can stop by the website, thephillygodfather.com.
Let's get to the AFC South. They all face one another coming up on Sunday. Let's begin with the surprising Indianapolis Colts. They go to Tennessee to take on the Titans.
Yeah, talk about two teams that appear to be headed in polar opposite directions here. Game opened up. The Colts were 3-point road favorites. It's already shot up to as high as minus 4.5 at a couple of the sports books I'm looking at. Mostly 4s out in the market. The total's painted everywhere, 43.5. There's been no movement on the total. And all of a sudden, the betting public, they've fallen in love with the resurgence of Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones. His odds to be comeback player of the year have gone from 15-1 down to 7-1. And the public is all over the Colts here with almost 80% of the tickets punched so far in the U.S. and offshore sports books on Indy. I would usually look to take the dog here, but this Titans team they're really hard to invest in. But if the game keeps moving up and ends up maybe Colts minus 6, I'll seriously look to take the dog here at home, plus 6. What I do like is I like the under 43.5 as of right now. But I think the best way to bet this division matchup is in a teaser, 7-point NFL teaser. If you can take the Titans up to plus 11.5 and bet the under 50.5, I think you'll cash that ticket.
All right, so a teaser within the same game, because that old adage, it's tough enough to win one game. Now you got to win 2 games. But you like them both in the same contest here.
Yeah, especially with 7 points. It's a division game. You're giving me 11.5 points. I love the under 43.5, so if I get under 15.5, it's even better.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's wrap right here. 1 o'clock, Philly Godfather. On Sunday, these nasty Houston Texans, they've had way too much success in Duval. Your thoughts on Houston visiting Jacksonville?
Yeah, it's still early in the week, but surprisingly, the public money is on the 0-2 Texans at right around a 65% clip. But the line, the line's been bouncing anywhere from -1 on the Jags to -2. I'm seeing some 2.5s, mostly 1.5 and 2s in the market. The total's sitting at 44.5 or 44, depending on which sports book you use. And these division games always carry a ton of weight. But with the Colts starting off, season 2-0 and being implemented as 4.5-point road favorites at Tennessee, I don't want to say this is a must-win game this early in the season, but this game's huge for both teams here, the Texans and the Jags, man. They, you start off 0-3 in NFL. It's almost a death sentence when it comes to making the playoffs. And I think since 1990, only 2.5% of the teams that kicked off the season 0-3 made the playoffs. So this is a huge game for the Texans here. Ironically, the last team to make the playoffs who started 0-3 was the Texans back in 2018. Wow. But when it comes to betting the side here, man, it's tough. I think it's a coin flip, Rick. I'm going to sit back right now. I'm going to hope this game gets to -3. If it does, I might look to take Houston small at +3. But what I really like here is the under 44.5. The Texans defense has given up only 34 points combined to the Rams and Buccaneers. Two offenses that I think are better than Jacksonville's. I have them ranked higher than Jacksonville's. And offensively, the Texans, they've really struggled scoring. They've only got 28 points on the season and 15 first downs, averaging 15 first downs a game. So I think this is a big move on the under.
Philly Godfather, how do our listeners get your book?
Yeah, you go to phillybooked.com, and I'll send you out an autographed copy, or you go to Amazon, and they'll ship it out the next day.
And for our listeners throughout North Florida and South Georgia, if they want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do it?
Yeah, you go to Twitter or X at Philly Godfather, or you can stop by the phillygodfather.com.
Philly Godfather, always a pleasure, sir. Best of luck with all your plays.
Good luck, guys.
There he goes. Houston's allowed, 9 points. They allowed 14 in a 14-9 loss at LAC, and then we saw the game on Monday night. They allowed 20 points in a loss against Tampa. So 34 points allowed. That's 17 a game. They're only scoring 28 in two contests. That's 14 a game. If you really do like the under here, and you look at the improvement that Jacksonville has made. This is a team a year ago that averaged 18.8 points a game. They've already increased that up to 26.5. Okay, that is enormous. That's basically 8 points that they've already improved with your offensive scoring. Okay. Just incredible. Defensively as well. They allowed 25.6 a year ago. They've shaved that down to 20.5 so far this year. And I get it. The sample size is tiny, but it's all I have right now. I'm not going to ignore the numbers. How much faith and trust you put in those numbers is certainly a worthy conversation because there's only been a couple of games. But as I said, it's all you got. And I'm definitely going to share that with you. All right, we got much more to do. We invite you to come on over to Twin Peaks tonight. Having a great time here, as we always do. We're going to do one show a month here at Twin Peaks. It's on Atlantic Boulevard, and basically Kernan and Atlantic. Twin Peaks Wednesdays are just sensational. Okay, it's their brew day, and $3.99, 22-ounce beers. All right, half-price wine by the glass, $6 Jaeger bombs, classic martinis, and, of course, food, drinks, indoor, outdoor dining. So come on by and say hello. We are going to be here until 8 o'clock. All right, let's get you involved with the program, 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. As well, I don't think we have any YouTube working tonight, but I apologize for that. We'll be back tomorrow. 6 to 8 with the YouTube. I do want to remind you on Friday, high school football, right? So we're with you 4 to 6 on Friday. Probably going to replay that Jimmy Smith interview I did yesterday. If you missed it, he had the greatest wide receiver to ever play for the Jaguars, had some really interesting things to say about Brian Thomas Jr. We'll also hook up with Tim Brando. That's always scheduled as our Thursday program. But during high school football season, We are on from 4 until 6 on 10:10 a.m. only. All right, we got a ton to do. Come on by, say hello to us. We're here at Twin Peaks.
1010XL is your home for play-by-play of Bishop Kenny football.
The Crusaders go fishing for barracudas at Beachside. Thursday night at 7 on 92.5 FM.
I'm Frank Frangie. Now, I've been telling you about my daughter Amber's journey with Awaken 180. Well, ready for this? She has now lost 60 pounds. That number's real, 60 pounds in a little over 3 months. And here's the thing, she loves doing it. She just went on a trip to Tampa to see a concert, sort of a road trip. And I asked her, was it hard to stay on the diet? She said, Dad, that's just it. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle change, and it's sustainable. And it's sustainable even when you're on the road. She is so excited. It has not changed her life. I think that's the best thing. It's a lifestyle change, but it doesn't ruin your life. She's loving her life, and she's so excited that she's been able to lose all that weight. You can do the same thing. You can kickstart your transformation. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It's working for Amber, and she's so excited, and I promise you it can work for you. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 17, 2004, Giants outfielder Barry Bonds hits career home run number 700 off San Diego Padres pitcher Jake Peavy.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Hey, it's Rick Ballou. I just upgraded my home with fantastic floors, and the experience was incredible. Rusty and the team brought the showroom to me with their at-home consultation. The whole process was simple, the installation was top-notch, and the results, absolutely fantastic. Take it from me. Don't wait. Visit fanfloors.com and schedule your at-home consultation today. Fantastic Floors, where every step is fantastic.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family secret, Dandy is never frozen. Always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses. No dry, crumbly subs here. Only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little guy with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand and a quality sandwich. So do what I do. Stop in at a Circle K and make yours a Dandy today.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, so here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Urology has 4 convenient locations to help you put your prostate health first. Guys, don't put this one off. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
They're out to test our reputation as the best plumber in Jacks, so we gotta play like the experts we are. Now, who are we? Roland Reach Plumbing! Now that's what a winner sounds like.
Customers always win with Roland Reach Plumbing at plumberinjacks.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Hi, Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Any good lineup needs power. When we needed power at the Bregan Baseball Complex and all the fields we have at Fort Family Park, we trusted Ricketts Electric. You're going to love these guys. The Ricketts family has been providing commercial and residential electric service for years. Call my friend Zach today at 904-320-5960. You can also find them on Facebook and at rickettselectric.com. Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them today at 904-320-5960.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Live from Twin Peaks, right on Atlantic Boulevard, basically Atlantic and Kernan. Come on by, say hello. Their Big Brew Wednesday includes $3.99 22-ounce drafts. We said the AFC South face one another this weekend. It's really an intriguing week 3. You got a bunch of 2-0 teams against a bunch of 0-2 teams. Bills 2-0, right? Dolphins 0-2. That's tomorrow night. You got Green Bay going into Cleveland. The Packers 2-0. Browns 0-2. The aforementioned Indianapolis Colts visiting the Tennessee Titans. Indy 2-0. Tennessee 0-2. Tampa Bay playing host to the New York Jets. Jets 0-2. And, you know, Justin Fields, he's not going to be able to go. It's going to be Tyrod Taylor. I saw that with the Bucs winning on Monday night. It's the 5th consecutive year they've started 2-0. So that is happening this weekend as well. Despite all of the undefeated teams will still remain, there's only one game that pitched 2-0 against 2-0, and that's Arizona at San Francisco. There's also only one game that gives you 0-2 against 0-2. Kansas City visiting the New York Giants. Who would have thought that? A couple of 1-1 teams facing each other as well. So pretty interesting stuff. Hey, I lied earlier. We are on YouTube. It's camera sitting right in front of me, and I missed it. You know, I just maybe my focus has been on some other things here at Twin Peaks. But you can get us on YouTube, no doubt about it. Just go to 1010XL Into the Night. Okay. I think the situation here in Jacksonville, when I talk about fixing problems, and the penalty situation is alarming. That, to me, is either 1 or 2 as far as what you should be most concerned about. I do want to believe that is going to take a turn for the better. The Brian Thomas Jr. situation is really bizarre. And, you know, I looked this up earlier today. If you look at the combination of Trevor Lawrence to Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter, 13 for 33. Let me repeat that. 13 for 33. 110 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. I mean, this has been complete, total failure. But how long is that going to continue? I watched training camp. I went to every training camp practice. Travis Hunter had a great July and August at the Miller Electric Center. Not the case for Brian Thomas Jr. I would come in every show and tell you he had another drop, another drop, another drop. But he's also a better game day player than he is a practice player. Set aside what he did a couple of days ago in Cincinnati. That was awful. This absolutely is going to change. There's too much talent here with Hunter. Too much talent here with Thomas Jr. But again, the numbers are just frightening. 13 for 33, 110 yards in 2 games, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. You're able to fix that. That is big. All right, I'm going to ask John Oeser about this. I'm also going to ask John Oeser, you know, what's going on in the secondary now? You know, you say goodbye to Darnell Savage. Antonio Johnson, 1 snap. All of a sudden, he's next man up. You would have loved to have seen him play at least against Carolina, right? Where you had a lead, he didn't. Now it's game 3. You're basically throwing a guy out there for the first time. It also feels like Buster Brown is going to be able to go this weekend as well. So he was a full participant today. We'll get into that with John Oeser as well. We'll talk about the overall contain going up against C.J. Stroud, who's down wide receivers. So therefore I like that matchup favoring Jacksonville if you were to compare the passing offense of Houston against the passing defense of Jacksonville. All of that in our second hour. It's great to have you with us. Still in Denmark, back in the studio. Max Fink here. My name is Rick Ballou with you tonight till 8.
1010XL's running game takes a giant step forward.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Hey, Jacksonville, Rick Ballou here. Small business owners need trucks and vans to keep your business moving? Jacksonville Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram Westside has Ram 1500s to heavy-duty 2500s, ProMasters, and custom uplifts ready to work. Visit them on Commonwealth Avenue or go online to jackswest.com. Jacksonville Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram Westside, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local partner for work-ready vehicles.
This is Jaguar Hall of Famer Tony Baselli telling you about Heritage of North Florida, Jacksonville's premier roofing and home remodeling company. With over 25 years of trusted experience, Heritage of North Florida has built a reputation for quality, reliability, and craftsmanship. Whether you need a new roof or updating your kitchen or bathroom, trust the pros at Heritage of North Florida to create the perfect place to call home. Mention Jaguars to get $1,500 off your next roof or kitchen remodel when you go to heritagenfl.com. Go Jags!
The calls have been pouring in.
It's the strongest phone connection on the First Coast. The Checkmate Coatings phone line covers you with expert interviews from around the country and your opinions and comments from here at home. All day, every day on 1010XL.
Since 1901, generations of skilled union workers have built the backbone of our community. Hospitals, schools, the buildings where you work. Every year, a new apprentice class of Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians is stepping up, trained, driven, and ready to do great things. They're not just building our city, they're building their future. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to become a member or contractor today.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
It's E.T. here, and did you know that slow speed accidents can still cause serious injuries? Ignoring minor pain today can mean big problems tomorrow. Don't wait. Call my guys at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center, the auto accident experts.
I'm Frank Franzi, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee. Man, it's incredible. Just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkestone. I was so impressed. It's about connecting with nature, with food, with community. And now you can own your very own handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm. Everything you need is there. You'll hardly need to go grocery shopping. Learn more about all of it at okefarm.com. That's OKEfarm.com, the farm at Okefenokee.
Pick it here for Oceanside Cleaners, the very best in dry cleaning service. Free pickup and delivery, or use their self-service kiosk in Ponte Vedra and Southside for drop-off and pickup. Dry cleaning, laundry, bedding, and bridal gown preservation. If it's got fabric, they can clean it. Oceanside Cleaners.
No more climbing ladders or tree shopping or untangling lights. Nope. Hume Flowers will take care of it for you this fall when you schedule their holiday home decorating team. This is JJ with 1010XL, and now is a good time to call on Hume Flowers. They'll do it all this fall.
Reclaim a pain-free life with Rebound Rehab. If you've been injured or simply feeling the effects of an active life, you can rely on Rebound Rehabilitation to get you back in the game. Sitting on the sidelines isn't any fun. Trust Rebound Rehab's team of trained physical therapists to get you back up to speed and feeling full again. Now more convenient than ever. 11 locations to serve you, including new offices in Riverside across from St. Vincent's, Point Meadows, and Middleburg. Just log on to reboundrehab.com to see all they've got to offer.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oeser. Oh No's.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
All right, we are at Twin Peaks. Great place. Having a lot of fun here. $3.99, 22-ounce draft beers. Twin Peaks Wednesday. Half-price wine by the glass. $6 Jaeger bombs and classic martinis. Come on by right here on Atlantic Boulevard. You know, basically Atlantic and Kernan. So come on by. Great crowd here. Having a big time. No question about it. John Oeser is the senior writer at Jaguars.com. John, always a lot of fun. Thank you.
Rick, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Yeah, that's why I love the NFL. You can turn the page midweek and begin to focus on Houston. You were in Cincinnati, and boy, I mean, that was a game they should have won. They did not. To me, that's going to be what this is all about. How does this team now respond, considering they let one get away?
Yeah, I think they're going to respond okay because I've gotten no vibe. Like, you know, looking back when they lost to Miami last year, right, it felt like it took the air out of the team. And in retrospect, it felt like the losing that may have confirmed a lot of doubt some players had about what was going on. That's just how, you know, again, you didn't know it at the time, but that's how it felt. With this, you know, you were in the locker room, Rick. I got the idea that these players thought, you know what, we outplayed them, we played how they wanted to play, and we just let one get away. But I didn't sense any doubt about what they were doing. I thought, you know, they ran well, they created turnovers, they played how they wanted to play. And they feel like they should have won. So I think they're going to come back and continue to play this identity. Sunday's big, but I don't think it's going to linger what happened the other day.
Yeah. Well, final question on Cincinnati, because I want to get to Houston. But it felt different to me, John. I mean, Liam Cohen came in, fire in his eyes when he spoke to us. The locker room seemed different, like these players were bothered that they lost the game they should have won. Yeah. I didn't get any of that a year ago. It just really felt different to me compared to last season.
Well, I'm not putting it into words very well, but I think they were ticked at themselves for losing it, and they were ticked because they felt like they should have been 2-0, and people should know they're good now. I think they feel like they're good and they know what they're doing, and when they lost, it felt like the result didn't fit how they felt, and that irritated them, right? Like, yeah. I think when they lost last year, a lot of times, the result felt like they felt about the team. Like it wasn't going right. They understood why they lost last year because things weren't going right. Mm-hmm. When they lost this year, it felt like a disconnect, and it felt like, man, we should be 2-0 because we're pretty good. And I think that's what bothered them. But I don't think it gave them a feeling of what's going on around here. Everybody you talked to and feel like they think they're pretty good and are going to continue to be good. Now they got to prove that.
John Oeser, I guess, senior writer, Jaguars.com. He joins us every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, broadcasting live from Twin Peaks. All right, Ezra Cleveland didn't go today with an ankle. This certainly caught me by surprise.
Well, on Monday, Liam had said he thinks he'll play, but they may have to protect him. Now, every regime, we've been through some regimes around here, Rick, but every regime, every head coach, you sort of got to get used to how they phrase things. I think what you're going to see is when Liam talks about a player being limited or out during the week but still going to play, I'll bet that we got to protect them. That's what that's going to mean is, hey, during practice this week, we're going to keep them out, make sure they're ready for the game. So based on that, I would still expect Ezra to play. That's just sort of, how we who cover the team sort of analyze coaches' quotes. I that's what this is.
Because this is a good Houston defense, but I do think that if there's an Achilles heel here, it's defending the run. And Jacksonville, only 2 games in, number 1 in the NFL in rushing per game. I think this really suits up well for Jacksonville being able to get it done on the ground.
Well, I think it does too. And I think it's really a fascinating matchup in that sense. Houston believes that they're a team that can hit you in the mouth defensively, out-tough you, and stop you. The Jaguars offensively believe that they're a team that can run and that they're going to be physical. To me, I don't overstate it, but this sets the tone for the Jaguars to me for the season when they play good defensive teams. I think it sets the tone. I think D'Amico is going to be there for a while. And this is how that team's going to play. I think Liam's going to be here a while, and this is how this team wants to play. This is a tone-setting kind of game for the Jaguars. Houston's going to hit you in the mouth, and I think the Jaguars this season want to be a team that hits back. Probably the best test so far to date will be Sunday.
I think the entire city, everyone has exhausted their comments on Brian Thomas Jr. Let's look forward now. What do you believe happens with Thomas Jr. this Sunday against the Texans?
I don't know. I mean, I can't predict it because I've never really seen that, and I'm not trying to criticize Brian Thomas Jr. I really like him. I think he's still going to be a great player. But last we saw was what we saw.
Yeah.
So he has to show himself, defenses, his teammates, that he's not going to do that. So I believe we'll see a guy who goes after the ball, who makes big catches, who plays confidently. But we have to see it before we say that, and this is a storyline until it's not. I'm really not trying to evade the question. I just don't know how to predict how he's going to react in those situations, because Sunday seemed like a trend. I mean, it was not one play. So, he has to show that that's not who he is. And I believe he will and hope he will.
Darnovich is released. Next man up is Antonio John. 1 snap in 2 games, yet they say they have confidence in him. Your thoughts on this overall transaction?
Well, you were around during training camp and preseason, Rick, and I don't say I was surprised when Savage made the roster, but I considered him a bubble guy at the 53. I think once they kept him, he's a veteran who is used to playing, and you kept him because he was a veteran who could give you that third safety cornerback feel. So I think they basically tried it for a couple of games. I think he wanted to be in the starting lineup. I think he felt like he should have been. The team was not going to play him that way. And this felt sort of like a mutual, hey, you know what, I want to be on the – like Liam said it.
Yeah.
Gives him a chance to be on the grass somewhere else. So That's what it felt like. It also felt like I would imagine they have seen in practice enough from Antonio what they like. And you heard as much as I did in preseason, Rick. They loved what Antonio was doing.
Yeah.
And so I think this is just one where they finally said, you know what we sort of wanted to do and thought we were going to do at training camp after a couple of weeks of seeing it. Okay, yeah, let's go this other direction. So it's a huge, obviously, moment for Antonio Johnson, who clearly has the athletic ability to play safety in the NFL. Everybody's been waiting to see that come out, and now we'll get to see if it comes out.
And, let's wrap with this. Jarian Jones, bad back. He was in a penny today, no contact. Buster Brown practiced in full. Do you expect Buster Brown to play coming up here against the Texans?
I do, because they really like him a lot. I mean, they think he's one of their better corners. The experience. Now, they're saying that based on OTAs because Buster was not really on the field at all during training camp. So, yeah, I would expect Buster to be up. I don't know what that means in terms of time and how everything exactly breaks down. But, yeah, I would expect that because they want to trust him and think they can trust him.
Right. Hey, I lied. I want to ask you this. Liam was asked about it today. Trevor was asked about it today. We know that these players, everything changes so fast, the coaching staff as well,
sure,
that a lot of people aren't aware of the fact in that building, in the Miller Electric Center, that they've lost 9 out of 10 here to Houston. Veterans, guys who have been around, leaders, how much do you think that becomes a conversation here later in the week before kick time?
I think it's a little bit. I don't know if it's overwhelming, only because of this. When they were bad last year, they could have and maybe should have beaten Houston here. They beat them in 22 and 23. They went out there in a big game in 23, maybe the last big game that regime won, and beat them. So I don't think there's a inferiority complex among the veterans that Houston is some sort of, holy grail to beat. But I think it's more packaged like this. Look, if we're going to be the best team in the division, which we want to be, we got to beat the other good teams in the division at home. So I think it's more, let's establish this. I think what'll be interesting, frankly, is, when Houston tries to bully them, how do the Jaguars respond? And do they say, we're not getting bullied by anybody in our house, especially this team, with a little bit of a tinge of what happened last year in December? I mean, that's not going to be emphasized, but no matter what players say, the first punch this year or the first push is going to have pushback.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. No doubt about it.
I mean, I usually don't get fired up for games. I've been doing this long enough, but this is going to be an interesting, heavyweight, back-to-back, all that stuff that sometimes is a cliche. This one has it. This is an important game for this team.
0-2 teams, 9.5% of making the playoffs. 0-3 teams, it's like 2.5%. I mean, if you base it on that trend, you knock them out. You can look at it and say Houston is already out as far as the playoffs. We'll see. Make sure you read everything from John Oeser and his staff. Just go to Jaguars.com. Of course, John is the senior writer. I'll see you over at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow, John. Thank you.
All right, Rick, thanks.
There he goes, John Oeser. Yeah, last year, Jacksonville lost 24-20 in Houston, and then they lost here 23-20. So as bad as Jacksonville was a year ago, I mean, they were one-possession football games. And, it's a totally different team. But they were close with them one season ago. And, I think they're going to get it done in the ditch. I think that's going to be the difference here. I think Jacksonville's sick and tired of being told that they're soft, especially on that offensive line. And, I think defensively, Trayvon Walker is coming off. The statistics didn't show it, but coming off just a phenomenal game in Cincinnati. Eric Armstead played an awful lot as well. All right, we got much more to do with you tonight, and until 8 o'clock, we're live here from Twin Peaks, Atlantic Boulevard. My buddy Danny Van Sickle's here. Let's bring him on, get the very latest. That is next, right here on 92.5 FM.
He talks, he listens, he tells stories only a coach could know.
So you can learn more about the science of quarterbacking.
Denny Thompson is the quarterback whisperer, tuned up by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet. Friday mornings on 1010XL.
This is Jennifer Marion at Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville, and now's the time to drive away in luxury.
That's right, Jennifer. The $7,500 tax credit ends this month. It's your last month to take advantage of this incredible opportunity.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, drive the all-new electric Optique, Lyric, and Vistique. They are all in stock and ready to drive today.
See all of our inventory at Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.com or visit us on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent you.
Expert Automotive on St. John's Bluff Road has some of the highest Google reviews in Jax for a reason. Expert Auto never sells greed, only what you need. All makes and models are serviced at Expert Automotive. This month, get an alignment inspection for only $19.99. Expert Auto does major engine and transmission repair and simple maintenance. All services done at Expert Auto by our ASC certified training technicians. Call today, 374-3373, and ask about $50 off any service. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 17th, 2004, Giants outfielder Barry Bonds hits career home run number 700 off San Diego Padres pitcher Jake Peavy.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,600 5-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage solutions for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation. But only until September 30th. 18 months financing is available. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Enjoy barbecue, live music, and auctions at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida's 4th annual Sizzlin' Soiree, presented by Dunkin' Donuts, October 2nd at the Fountain of Youth in St. Augustine. Get tickets at bgcnf.org.
Ticket here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out. Garage Door 911, garagedoor911.com.
This right here, this is where it starts. With a little flame and a lot of love. When the air cools or the night falls, fire brings the warmth. But it's what we bring to the table that matters. Slow smoked barbecue. Stories that stretch long. Laughter that lingers. And moments that just feel full. That's why it's always Sonny's here.
After an accident, you may have an x-ray that looks normal, but you're still in pain. That's because soft tissue injuries like sprains and tears don't show up on x-rays. And if an insurance company doesn't see it, they may not believe you're hurt.
When they don't take your pain seriously, we fight back. We know doctors who are experts in diagnosing soft tissue injuries. They can help us prove that your pain is real, and we'll seek to get you paid for all of your future medical expenses.
Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville was built on specialists.
We be special.
Now the Special Teams Player of the Week, sealed by Superior Plumbing and Pipeline.
Logan Cook was on fire in Cincy for the good guys. The veteran punter had 2 total punts versus the Bengals, averaging 47.5 yards per attempt, with his longest punt going for 60 yards. Cook makes sure to stir the pot week after week, and he's your Superior Plumbing and Pipelining Special Teams Player of the Game.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Football season is here, and the Hills Grill at Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to enjoy our tailgate menus and drink specials every Saturday and Sunday. Join us after your round and cheer on your favorite team. That's Hidden Hills Golf Club, Monument Road.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Sun setting over Twin Peaks. No place I'd rather be. Atlantic Boulevard. Come on by. 22-ounce ice cold draft beers. Only $3.99. Look who's here. My good buddy Danny Van Sickle. Of course, he is part of the Electrical Training Alliance. Brought me by just some beautiful gear today. The only thing I don't like about this is the long sleeves, meaning that you're telling me it's going to get chilly here at some point in Duval.
Yes. Eventually it will. It'll probably be late October, but it'll get here. But before we get started, man, what a great place. What a great scene,
Isn't this
man.
fun?
This is awesome.
Yeah, we're going to be here once a month.
Right.
So I think I got 4 Wednesdays the next 4 months, and it's always a great place to get here. I don't live close by, so I don't get out here all that much. But whenever I do, always have a really good time. TVs really surround this place. It's fantastic. Boy, Jacksonville let one get away on Sunday. Tough one for them.
Boy, they did. If you're trying to find positives, they look better than last year. If you're trying to just find those little nuggets in there, I'm kind of torn. Part of me just wishes they would have kicked the field goal when they got down there to go up by 6. But in today's NFL, more often than not, the sheets tell you that you're supposed to go for that. Analytics say you go and get that. And the bottom line is, had they gotten that would have changed the complexion completely of the game. I know some out there are going to say, well, if they had gotten a field goal, it wouldn't matter because they still marched down the field. Yeah, but the urgency was there at that point. That's the difference. You get that. They know that they have to go down the field to score, whereas not getting that field goal, now they knew they only had to get the field goal themselves to take it into overtime. So I think it's a learning moment from there. But overall, just looking at the eye test, you can't say that they're not better than what they were last year. And that's what you want.
There's no doubt they're better. You can't allow a 15-play, 92-yard drive in 3.5 minutes by Jake Browning. Although, terrible call by the officials.
Terrible.
That was not a pass interference on Travis Hunter.
That is terrible. And you hate to be the woe is me, but it seems like if there is a bad call out there to be made, it's going to happen against the Jaguars. That was a terrible, terrible call. I wonder if that's Sauce Gardner-Johnson doing that instead of a rookie.
Yeah.
If they still make that same call. If it wasn't a high-profile rookie, if they still make that call, that was a weak call.
Yeah, Jordan rules did not apply in game 2 for Travis Hunter.
He's got to be Jordan first.
And the spirit of the rule, he turned his head around. You don't have to turn your head around if you don't touch the wide receiver. If you're not, handsy or making contact. He did touch, but he turned his head around just as the ball was coming there. It was the wrong call by the official.
Yeah, and it's not like he mauled him on the way down there, too, either. That was a textbook way to play defense on that. He completely got robbed on that. But I will say this. That is why you don't put yourself in that position to let a call be the difference. That is why when you have your foot on their throat, you push it down on it, you get a big enough lead on it where it doesn't take one play to swing things one way or the other. Hopefully the Jags learn from that.
Here comes Houston. They've won 9 out of 10 here in Duval, which is should just make the hometown fans insane. More vocal, more lathered up for this football game. And, this is a 0-2 team that does have a problem defending the run. I think this game has Jacksonville line it up, Tootin, and obviously ETN run right at Houston.
Normally I would agree with you on Rick, but I don't know what it is about that team. They've got the Jags number. they find a way to beat the Jags. They beat the Jags whenever they're good. They beat the Jags whenever you think the Jags are going to win, and they still find a way to beat them. The Jags swept them in 2017. I think I saw the stat, or I heard the stat, they're 2-8 since.
Yeah. One for the last 9 here at home.
Yeah.
I think they're 2-9 overall.
I don't know what it is about that helmet or about that team. And then after the play last year, which was obviously a devastating play, you have to hope that there's some pride in there. Like, you got to hope that when the Jaguars play this year, they're going to, obviously they're professional, so they're not like waiting on a year since it happened. But don't think that hadn't been pushed inside those coaches in those meeting rooms all week. And don't think it hadn't been pushed to them that the record that the Texans have against the Jaguars, they have dominated the Jaguars over the last 5 to 7 years. And you got to try to change that, do something different. Hopefully, new coaching staff does that.
Yeah, Jacksonville in the last 10 years actually has more wins at Houston than they do here in Duval. Again, 1 of 10, a 1-9 record in those 10 games here in Jacksonville. They have won a few times there in Houston. All right, all the talks, Brian Thomas Jr. What do you make of this?
Bad game. I know this. You don't get to the level of a Brian Thomas Jr. and then all of a sudden be scared. It normally doesn't work that way, right? He's been playing ball for a long time. He started off at a young age. Great receiver at LSU. Greatest first year at Jacksonville. He's going to have to get that fixed, and I'm sure that the coaches and everyone else this week have been going over film with him. I love Trevor's response.
Yeah.
They've taken a very professional approach to this. He's a pro. He had a bad game. But if he continues to have those kind of games, well, then a conversation obviously needs to be had. But I don't think you get to his level being scared.
Yeah.
I think it was just kind of a one-off. I think you're going to go out there. But I'll also say this. Trevor has got to put him in a position where he's not having a single high safety coming over just ready to lower the boom on him. And the play calling has to be to the fact that, you're not just running slants all the time. You need to put him on the outside and have him stretch the field. There are certain what we call possession receivers, guys who know that their bread and butter is to run across the field, catch the ball for a 12 to 15-yard gain, maybe get some runs after the catch. That is not Brian Thomas. He should be stretching the field. He should be running along the sideline. So I'm hoping that the coaching staff, along with the personnel, get with him this week, put him in a better position. I saw in the preseason a couple times, Trevor threw made some throws, and you just knew Brian was going to get lit up.
Certainly against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Trevor, don't make those throws. Don't put that receiver in that kind of position so that way he's not having to worry about someone coming across the middle.
And he missed them 3 times, blatantly missed them against Carolina. There were 3 times that Thomas Jr. was open, and Trevor missed them. Danny Van Sickle is with us, the Electrical Training Alliance. You were in Tallahassee for that Alabama victory. Thoughts of what Florida State did then and where they are now 2 weeks, make that 3 weeks later.
So I was on your show a couple of days before that.
Yes.
And I would love
You lied to me.
I would love to tell you that I went on that show and I predicted a Florida State victory because I just knew they were going to be more physical. Completely surprised. I didn't realize how physical Florida State has gotten. Mike took it last year, and deservedly so. You go 2-10, you deserve everything that comes to you. But I'll say this: he didn't just sit back on his $75 million and say, "Nope, I'm gonna keep doing it my way." He changed. He changed the offense coordinator, changed defense coordinator, told players, great players like Patrick Payton, bye-bye, go, see ya. Brought in new players that were able to come in. And when you do that, your first thought is, well, they're not going to be able to be that good. There's no continuity. He didn't recruit them. They proved themselves. They were clearly the more physical team that day. And if you've watched Alabama since, they have really picked it up. So that really has made that victory look that much more better because they've done really good the last couple of weeks. They don't look like the same team that the first week did when they played Florida State. I think, obviously, you don't have a huge sample size, right? So you basically have the Long Island University that Florida played. Well, Florida State played them last week. But I will say this. That was an SEC team that they beat. That's a team that is undefeated in the SEC right now. That's a team that a lot of people are picking to play for the SEC championship. And if you can beat that team, if you can be more physical than that team, then you've got a really good chance to do some special things throughout this year. And I don't think it was a mirage.
No. All right, so you don't think it was a mirage? How convinced are you at this point? Miami all of a sudden looks like the best team on the schedule. That can change in the next couple of weeks in a heartbeat. Clemson could respond. Florida could respond. You need to see this Friday night game against Virginia?
Virginia's actually a pretty good team. They are.
I watched them against NC State. Yes.
They are. But I will tell you this: if Florida State is what people say they are, then you should come out of that game with a pretty convincing victory. I'll say this, but just, again, small sample size, but just based on the USF and the Notre Dame game, Miami looks like the most complete team in the league. They look very good along the lines of scrimmage. But I will tell you that this isn't 1994-5 anymore where one loss puts you out. You know, now everybody has the same mindset. Dabo hit on this. Listen, you just got to get there, right? So even if you lose that game to Miami, if you can somehow get to that ACC championship, or if you can take care of business after that, they snubbed you once before, but there was only 4 slots. It'd be hard to snub them again.
Yeah.
Not saying that they couldn't. They could. But listen, you have a little bit of grace now that you didn't have before. But that don't mean that I don't think they can't beat Miami. You know, I'm going to be very interested to see that game this weekend. You know, if I'd had a chance to be on the radio last week, I would have said then that Florida was going to be able to hang with LSU. Florida has, for all of their ineptitude on offense, they have really good defensive players over there. They fly to the ball. They play physical. And if you look, Florida goes down and gets that. If DJ doesn't throw that pick 6, it's not a 10-point game no more. Now it's a 3-point game that Florida could very easily win. Problem was he did throw those 5 picks. So, you know, that's going to get – I don't think it's going to be the steamroll that people think it is. Miami should win. They are the better team. But I don't think they're going to win it running away. I think that Florida has a good enough defense to keep it close throughout the game. And then if they can get to the end of the game, you saw it, that doubt starts to creep in. It's like, hey, we're supposed to be blowing this team away. We're better than this team. How are they still with us? And don't think that those players on the University of Florida team don't have some pride left. I will say this. If they lose this week to Miami, they might be staring at 2-10. Because their schedule, if you look at their path and the teams that they have yet to play, it's going to be hard now for them to be able to put together a lot of victories.
No doubt about it. Hey, give us the latest here. It's mid-September. What's going on at the Electrical Training Alliance?
We just started school last week. So we have a very large enrollment. All of our apprentices are working for all of our contractors. But, you know, a lot of times – we don't talk about the feeder system, like what it takes to get into our apprenticeship. A lot of people don't realize that you can work before getting into the apprenticeship. And another thing a lot of people don't realize is we have a multitude of companies. Like everybody's heard of your Miller Electric. Everybody's heard of your Cogburn Electric. You know, we got other companies like Van Sickle Electric, like Mardan Electric, like J. Williams Electric. These are contractors that also do work in Northeast Florida that can employ our apprentices. But whenever you look around town and you look at all the work, especially at the stadium, all the hospital work, you know, Miller Electric is a huge employer for us. They employ the majority of our apprentices, but they're also looking for people. You know, Miller and these other companies, they're looking for what we call CWs, which is entry level. They're looking for them to come in and to start getting introduced to the trade. And that way you're not making that 4-year commitment. You have opportunity to work for, say, a Miller Electric and see if this is what you want to do before applying to get into the apprenticeship.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, the other side of it, school. Tell us about it, whether you're in high school, you can't afford college, you're out there and you're looking for a career change. Give us the latest.
We tell everybody this isn't a job, this is a career. If you get into the Electrical Training Alliance, there is no tuition. The only thing that you pay for are books.
Which is amazing.
There's no student debt, no Pell Grants that you have to get. You earn as you learn, so you're working for one of our awesome contractors during the day while you're going to school at night. You're learning a trade, and you really are not going to be able to find a better opportunity than this out there if you want to be an electrician. We are considered the best of the best. If you look at the contractors that we have the best electricians, the best craftsmen that are out there. We take a lot of pride in the work that we do. We take a lot of pride in the companies that we work for. If you go around Jacksonville, you know, all the Fortune 5 companies around Jacksonville, they have people from our contractors that are working for these companies.
Yeah, outstanding. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Best way to learn more about us is just go to our website, etajax.org. You go there. We got pictures. You can apply from there, learn more about us. And obviously our contact information is on there. They can always reach out to me personally. I'd be glad to help out anybody.
Danny Van Sickle, ladies and gentlemen, the Electrical Training Alliance. Always a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
There he goes. We are live from Twin Peaks. Be here till 8 o'clock. Much more to do.
1010XL brings you the orange and blue.
Touchdown Gators!
Can the Gators tame the Hurricanes and turn the tables in Coral Gables?
Got a hole, and there he goes.
Kickoff at 7:30 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL.
Garrett Scantling here, and once again, thanks to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. My torn hip labrum issue is resolved thanks to Dr. Doward, and Dr. Acevedo keeps my feet healthy too. Training and competing, that's what it's all about for me. And Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has me in top condition.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is now available at the Fresh Market Spirits and Wine. The Fresh Market Spirits and Wine is a new adult beverage store offering spirits, wine, beer, and accessories at A1A North in Ponte Vedra, a first-of-its-kind destination for thoughtfully curated spirits, wine, and beer as only the Fresh Market can. And now, you can get Brackish Vodka at the Fresh Market. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Hey, it's Lauren Brooks. Looking and feeling great isn't just for women. Hello Smooth Med Spa has something for everyone. Laser hair removal, wrinkle smoothing, skincare, and more. With over 400 plus 5-star reviews and over a decade in business, they know their stuff. Book now at hellosmooth.com.
Tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now with the big BOGO event. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires September 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
This football season, Hurricane Grill and Wings is your game day getaway. Catch every play with the perfect drink in hand. Handcrafted cocktails like the Millionaire Margarita, Spicy Guavarita, Old Fashioned, or the Red Bullerita. Beer more your style to watch the games? Enjoy an ice cold Bud Light. Game day cocktails and Bud Light specials are here all season long at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find a restaurant near you at hurricanewings.com.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's good to be here. Twin Peaks, Atlantic Boulevard. Great time here. Twin Peaks, man. It's nice outside, nice sunset. We've got here indoors as well. Place is absolutely spectacular. Rick Ballou along with Max Fink, Dylan Denmark back in the studio. Max, what do you think? This place ain't bad, huh?
This place is awesome. Cold beers, good crowd, TVs everywhere.
Yeah.
Love it.
You got a water. I got a Diet Coke. That could change in a couple of minutes. We shall see. You're a Gator grad.
Not a Gator grad, Gator fan.
Gator fan. All right, because I remember you're an Edmonton Oilers fan?
Yeah. Not a huge hockey guy, but if I had to choose one.
Last time we did a remote, it was at the arena.
The Stanley Cup, yeah.
Yeah.
I was telling you, I got the...
So you're a Gator. What do you think? Is it over? I think Napier... I said this to Dylan and our listeners. I thought Napier was going to get one of the three, LSU, Miami, or Texas. Do you believe that?
I believe that. And judging off last year, I mean, he didn't lose the team last year, and I think he has a better team this year.
Yeah.
That defense looked great, but it's unfortunate. It's not in a great spot right now, but I definitely think they could beat Texas the way that, Arch is kind of disappointing as well. That game's at home. It's gonna be wide open. So I'm hoping they get one, but it's not looking good for the future.
Yeah, and Dylan, you and I talked about this all last year. I agree with Max. I know Danny Van Sickle made some comments, and that could happen. But in my opinion, that was the best part of what Napier had a year ago when he got that vote of confidence from Scott Strickland. Even when they were losing, those kids played hard. Then they came back and got big wins against LSU and Mississippi, and Florida State wasn't considered a huge win at the time. It's still a rivalry. But, Dylan, they played hard for him a year ago.
They definitely did, and the one difference is in the month of November, Lagway was one of the hottest quarterbacks in the country, and he's not playing like that right now, obviously. And you can blame it on whatever, him not being healthy in the offseason. He's just not seeing the field well, and he's not making the right decisions. And that's the main difference. And the line for Florida-Miami started at 8.5, and now it's 7.5. So money's coming in on Florida again like it was last week. But I still don't think Florida wins this game. I think Miami wins this game by at least 10.
Yeah, well, we'll see. And, the Philly Godfather a little bit earlier said that he's going to play Florida in the points here against Miami. And, also I didn't like him telling us that the overwhelming money so far has gone on Houston. Now, that's public money, and obviously the public is wrong more than they're right. But that's weird to me because we've seen the line actually drop a little bit in some sorts from 1.5 to 1. So, the flip side would mean that sharp money, the wise guys are betting on Jacksonville here, but the general public is betting on Houston. You got an opinion on that game? Who wins on Sunday?
I think that Houston defense looked pretty good. I mean, Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson coming off. They were flying around, getting to Baker off the edge there. Derek Stingley, he had a tough assignment on Mike Evans, but he did a pretty good job.
Man, he's a good football player. He won that matchup.
He did. He had a great night. So I think it'll be a good test. I think they're catching Jacksonville pissed off of that loss. And the way that Liam Cohen's kind of turned it around, like their defense is playing with some real physicality this year. I think they're going to come out mad with leftover from last year, and it's going to be a close one. Like Philly Godfather said, I think it's going to be a coin flip. I'll go with the home field, and I'll give it to the Jags.
All right. Dylan and I will make our picks tomorrow night, although I've already come out and said it. I do think that Jacksonville is going to win this game in the ditch. The starting center for Houston, Jake Andrews, has a bad ankle. He was limited today. Then you look at one of their corners and one of their safeties, starters. Kamari Lassiter with a knee, limited. Jalen Petrie with a rib, limited. So 3 starters right there. Wide receivers, they are just a mash unit. Limited today, Christian Kirk and Braxton Berrios, the former Miami Hurricane, both limited. And, of course, they're already without Tank Dell. They're also without Joe Mixon. So, Nick Chubb had that long touchdown run, 20-some-odd yards the other night, but he's only got 103 yards in 2 games. And Nico Collins, consecutive 1,000-yard seasons so far, only 77 yards receiving. So this is not a good offense. Only 1 touchdown pass in 2 games thrown by C.J. Stroud. Let's put our final touches on this one. We'll do that on the other side with you till 8 o'clock right here on this Wednesday Night Live from Twin Peaks. Then Hacker Nation will join you. That starts at 8.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey folks, it's Frank Frangie for Lee and Kate's Glass. They say you're going to see a big difference, but what does that really mean? It means a live local person on the phone, a smooth, easy process, skilled craftsmen, and excellent customer service all around, with your satisfaction absolutely guaranteed. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
All right, it's Ballou. If you're looking for a brand new truck, right now, Crew Cab Ram trucks start at just $38,900 at Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep. Dodge Ram West Side, and every new retail purchase comes with the lifetime powertrain warranty at no extra cost. From the tough Ram trucks to the adventure-ready Jeeps, they've got the perfect ride waiting for you. Stop by Commonwealth Avenue or shop online at jackswest.com. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram West Side, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Jaguar Hall of Famer Tony Baselli telling you about Heritage of North Florida, Jacksonville's premier roofing and home remodeling company. With over 25 years of trusted experience, Heritage of North Florida has built a reputation for quality, reliability, and craftsmanship. Whether you need a new roof or updating your kitchen or bathroom, trust the pros at Heritage of North Florida to create the perfect place to call home. Mention Jaguars to get $1,500 off your next roof or kitchen remodel when you go to heritagenfl.com. Go Jags!
La playa is Spanish for the beach. If you can't remember that, the word Corona also works. Corona, La playa awaits.
I love my propane company. They always answer when I call and give me great prices and fast service. Said no one ever.
Until now. Need propane for your home or business? Seabreeze Propane is bringing the propane as North Florida's new local propane provider. Visit SeabreezeLP.com. Seabreeze Propane. We make propane cool, brother. Oh, yeah.
I'm Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Any good lineup needs power. When we needed power at the Bregan Baseball Complex and all the fields we have at Fort Family Park, we trusted Ricketts Electric. You're going to love these guys. The Ricketts family has been providing commercial and residential electric service for years. Call my friend Zach today at 904-320-5960. You can also find them on Facebook and at rickettselectric.com. Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them today at 904-320-5960.
PRI Productions is the official game day production partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hi, I'm Randy Goodwin, president and owner of PRI Productions. Chances are, if you've been in Jacksonville over the last 30 years, you've seen our work, from corporate and social events to concert production and much more. We have the equipment and expertise to make your next event memorable. So call the experts at the Jaguars Call. PRI Productions, bringing your ideas to life.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Now's the perfect time to order logo coffee mugs or maybe a logoed Sick brand tumbler. They're seriously ice cold and look great with your company logo. Hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to I-9 Sports with fall and winter registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Well, the big news today, Ezra Cleveland did not practice, the starting left guard with an ankle. He did not participate. I know that Liam Cohen talked about it on Monday and that he according to Liam, should be ready to go, but we'll see. That was out there today. Hunter Long, who had one snap played at Cincinnati, also did not practice today with an ankle. The encouraging news is this. Buster Brown practiced in full. And again, many, including myself, believe that he was the guy that won the job against Tyson Campbell before he went down. And, that's with Travis Hunter. That's with Jarian Jones and everything else. They've been starting, as you know, Jordan Lewis on the other side primarily, then moving him to slot. And Jarian Jones is not 100%. He's got a bad back. He was limited today. He also wore a penny, meaning no contact. Same situation for Bashel Tutin, a non-contact jersey today with his shoulder. He was limited. And yes, Brian Thomas Jr. was on the injury report with his wrist. He did participate in full. The only other ones that I should mention, I guess it's Wyatt Milam, the rookie, who's now limited. So he is, there's a reason why they didn't put him on the IR. They thought that they could get him back before 4 games. So, does he get activated this weekend against Houston? I'd be surprised. But not only do I expect Buster Brown to be activated, I expect Buster Brown to play against Houston. All right, now let's do this.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Time for Hacker After Dark. Young man, how are you?
Rick, I'm good, buddy. I know Twin Peaks is quite the place. It's where we had the Hacker Fantasy League draft last month, so I'm sure you guys are getting after it out there tonight.
It's a fun time. There's no doubt about it. 22-ounce draft beer is only $3.99 here, so you absolutely cannot beat that. All right, you were down at the Miller Electric Center a little bit earlier today. Thoughts midweek here as Houston rolls in just a couple of days?
Yeah, I don't sense a snowball effect from last week. I sense they were upset they did not win the game, but I think it's good that it is Houston this week. I think that'll get them centered pretty quickly. Look, Trayvon Walker, Joshua Hines-Allen, Trevor Lawrence, the guys that have been on this team for a while, they just don't win against Houston in Jacksonville. I mean, it's crazy. It's 9 out of 10. It's 6 in a row, technically 7, but one of those games was the London home game. The Jaguars have struggled immensely against the Houston Texans. We remember Azeez Al-Shaair and everything that happened with that situation last year. I had a conversation with Devin Lloyd today and with Jarian Jones, and people that forgot, Jarian Jones was actually ejected from the game last year. He was the one Jaguar that got ejected. I'm going to ask him about that, his memories from that, and what his thoughts are on Azeez Al-Shaair returning to Jacksonville.
All right, what else you got coming up tonight?
Yeah, we mentioned Devin Lloyd, Jarian Jones, Leon Searcy's going to join me, Jordan DeJani of CBS Sports, and my buddy Will Miles of Read and Reaction and the Gators Breakdown podcast, as we are now 72 hours away from Florida and Miami down there in South Florida on Saturday night.
Hack, have a fun show. I'll see you back over there tomorrow.
Thanks, Rick.
There he goes, Hacker Nation. He's coming up next. Do want to thank everyone here. Really enjoyed this over the last couple of hours. Thank you to Twin Peaks. Thank you to Danny Van Sickle. Thank you to John Oeser. Thank you to the Philly Godfather. Thank you to Max Fink. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. I will be in the Jaguars locker room tomorrow. So Thursday's program will have the very latest from Jaguars players plus Tim Brando. That is what is scheduled tomorrow night, 6 to 8. Programming note, Friday, I'm on 4 to 6 on AM only during high school football. 4 to 6 on 10:10 AM only. That'll be Friday. Folks, have a great night. I'm Rick Ballou. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 6.